Time now for your forewarned weather with Cedric Haynes.
All right, welcome back. Let's get another check of that afternoon forecast with meteorologist Cedric Haynes. Cedric, the trees downtown in the valley areas are pretty right now. We finally, I feel like, have hit that point.
Yeah.
Where they're getting the beautiful reds, the oranges. It was up in the mountain for some time, but now it's down here.
Yeah, we definitely made it past peak, but you know what the problem is now.
Yeah, that's what I was going to bring this into. These winds you're talking about today, I feel like in a few days from now, it's just going to be sticks.
Yeah, well,
not much going on.
That's where we're headed, you know? So I'm glad that you got a chance, though, to catch the leaves now while they're
Some of them still around here are beautiful.
Yeah.
There's a couple trees on our way in that are like red, orange, and green. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
You hear the crunch under your feet.
Yes, it's good.
It's fall, y'all.
Not much longer, though.
Yeah, not much longer. And one of the reasons that you mentioned there, that wind is going to continue to ramp up. Let's show you why. We've got a storm system heading our way. Look at that front crashing into the West Coast. You know, we don't show you a lot of heavy rainfall over California too often, but they had some very decent rainfall totals, especially north of San Francisco, as we've gone throughout this morning. And now that system is pushing over the Sierras. Now, as it approaches us here in the Beehive state, we're seeing a few of these clouds increasing, but notice the wind alerts that are in effect for our friends just off to the west. I just showed you over towards the Ely area. They have wind gusts currently of about 50 miles per hour. So there's some gusty winds coming out ahead of this system. Also notice the rain not as widespread as it was a few hours ago. As it crashes into the mountains there, you start to absorb all that moisture there. But we will see something squeezed out in parts of Utah later tonight. Let's talk about the winds, though, first. Here are the wind gusts currently, and you can see winds gusting up to 23 miles per hour at Bryce Canyon, 44 miles per hour in Cedar City, 37 in Enterprise, almost 40 mile per hour wind gusts currently in Milford and Delta. And we've had some wind gusts up here towards the Wasatch Front, pretty high as well. Winds gusting up to 38 miles per hour in Salt Lake City. How about a 43 mile per hour wind gust right now in the Sandy area? We've got wind gusts up to 44 miles per hour in Park City and a wind gust of 47 miles per hour in Tooele this afternoon. No wind alerts are in effect, but we know we are definitely going to be seeing those gusty winds continuing as we go throughout the afternoon and that storm system begins to approach the area. 71 degrees in Ogden, 65 in Provo, 66 in Milford. We've got 58 degrees in Price, 58 in Vernal, 71 in Ogden, but look at that, 66 in St. George. So a little warmer along the Wasatch Front, and that's going to be something that we're going to watch today, because I do think we're going to get into the low 70s for most of us here across the Wasatch Front this afternoon. I've got us into the low to mid 70s. And I'll tell you, the record high in Salt Lake City is 75 degrees. I'm forecasting 73, so I'm going to keep us below that. But it's very possible we may get 74, maybe touch 75. So we'll keep an eye on that for you on Record Watch, as we like to say. Futurecast showing us, though, no real rain chances for us during the day today. So if you have any plans outside this afternoon, this evening, I think you're going to be okay. I'm not tracking much in the way of rain chances across the area. It's not until later this evening and tonight. We could see a couple of spotty showers, some drizzle developing as we get into the evening hours along the Wasatch Front. But I'm going to be watching a band of rain that's going to develop with the cold front itself, and that's going to sink south from the Cache Valley into the Ogden Valley and Salt Lake Valley and the Wasatch back overnight tonight. So most of this will occur while you're sleeping. We'll see some valley rain showers above 7,500 feet. We could see a little light snow accumulations. High pressure builds in during the day, so we dry things back out, but then another weak disturbance moves in into your Friday that could give us a very slight spotty shower chance as well. Again, rainfall totals about 1/10 of an inch at most for most areas on average here along the I-15 corridor. Could get up to 1/4 of an inch, though, as you get up towards the Bear River range. And with those snow levels dropping, as I mentioned, a couple of inches of snow could be possible. Again, for those mountains, the northern mountains above 7,500 feet. Not a big storm, but it's a possibility that we could have a little dusting out there on some of the peaks again. So a beautiful fall-like weekend is going to be heading our way behind all these little weak storm systems as they move through. You'll see the first one that moves off towards the east Thursday. Here comes another one on Friday, but then as we go into the weekend, especially the beginning of next week, we get a big ridge that starts to develop as some warmer temperatures moves into the west. Meanwhile, a big strong trough develops over the east, and we get some of the coldest air of the season dropping all the way down towards the Gulf Coast here in the eastern half of the country. But we'll stay warm. But here's what we're watching. By the end of next week, our weather pattern may start to change here, but that could lead to a more wetter and cooler pattern across the region. But of course, that's still almost, 10 days out. So we'll see how it plays out. But that's kind of the next sign of that showing up. St. George, upper 70s, breezy sunshine, low 70s. That's it for the end of the week. The weekend looking pretty nice. The Wasatch Front will see those near record temperatures today, only in the 50s for the end of the week into the weekend with a few isolated showers. Alyssa?